Hello everyone, welcome to MMA Weekly Bite episode number 3. This is your boy Biraj. So this is our weekly episode where we talk about some hot news regarding combat sports, especially MMA. So today we have news regarding the last pay-per-view of UFC, that is UFC 297, Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. We'll talk about that card. We also have news regarding new fights that has been added to UFC 300, one of the major fights that's gonna happen this year. We also have news regarding last UFC fight night between Ankalaev and Johnny Walker. Okay, and we also talk about future of light heavyweight. And moving forward, we have news regarding boxing as well, and we also talk about two giant MMA companies, PFL and Bellator, doing their cross-promotional event. And we'll also talk about upcoming pay-per-views of UFC, that is UFC 298 and 299. And we have lots of exciting news in between these cards, okay? So stay tuned. Now let's start the show. Okay, now let's talk about UFC 297. There was this fight between Movsar Evloev and Arnold Allen. These both guys fight at featherweight division, and these guys fought for kind of like number one contender for featherweight. Okay, and we have champ featherweight Alexander Volkanovski, and he's fighting Ilya Topuria soon. So, anyways, talking about Movsar Evloev. This man is amazing. His striking, his wrestling is so crisp, and when he mixes it both, it looks so entertaining. It's so beautiful. And he fought Arnold Allen, the man who only lost to Max Holloway in his UFC career. The fight was going good, but at the end, Movsar Evloev he won the game, and he'll be now new number one contender for featherweight division. Another fight, it was between Neil Magny and Mike Malott at a welterweight division. Neil Magny, whose leg was chopped by Ian Gary at his last fight. Mike Malott was minus 300 favorite. He was dominating both 2 rounds against Neil Magny, but at the 3rd round, at the last minute, Neil Magny got lucky. He TKO'd minus 300 favorite Mike Malott. Another fight that is co-main event of UFC 297. It was between Raquel Pennington and Mayra Bueno Silva. It was at the women's division in a bantamweight championship. This belt was vacant because back at UFC 289, the GOAT Amanda Nunes, when she retired, the belt was vacant, and this fight, Raquel Pennington won the championship, and she's the new women's bantamweight champ. Now let's talk about the UFC 297 main event between Sean Strickland and Dricus du Plessis for middleweight championship. Sean Strickland stood up at the press conference, shook his hand with Dricus du Plessis, and promised to fans that they're gonna give us a war. And yes, they kept their promises. They gave us a 5-round war. You can see their faces aftermath, right? Their both faces got destroyed, right? Especially after Dricus du Plessis. And at the end, Sean Strickland lost the belt to Dricus du Plessis. Sean Strickland won 1st and 5th round, while Dricus du Plessis won remaining rounds. There was a lot of controversy going on right now. Even the president of UFC, Dana White, was surprised that Sean Strickland lost the game. And of course, Sean Strickland also posted in social media that the belt was his and he shouldn't have lost the game. And he said that, and if you watch the fight, Sean was doing pretty good. And after that cut in his eyes, he couldn't perform that well. And if you see in the social media, he said that cut was due to Dricus du Plessis' headbutt. Okay, and of course, Son did really good job. I mean, he got taken down like 6 times by Dracus du Plessis, but like we all know how Sean Strickland has that ability to stand up right away when he gets taken down, and he did that job as well. So what's next for UFC middleweight championship? I mean, will we get a rematch? I don't think Dana is like so positive about this thing. And also, Dracus du Plessis called out Israel Adesanya at the end of the game. I mean, there are like still fight yet to be declared for UFC 300. So are they gonna declare Dracus du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya? I don't think so, because Athletic Commission has to let these guys rest for at least a certain time, because they took a massive damage at their last fight, right? I mean, both Dracus du Plessis and Sean Strickland. So we might see, there's a rumor out there that we might see Israel Adesanya versus Hamzat Chimaev, and also Alex Pereira, the present light heavyweight champ and former middleweight champ, he also called out Dracus du Plessis fight and all those things. I mean, he also wanna have a real 2 belt at the same time, right? So let's see, we don't know. Alright, so I have another thing is that is UFC 300. More fights have been booked at this card. Okay, number 1 is Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. These guys will be fighting for BMF title. Okay, Justin Gaethje, one of the best strikers, former interim lightweight champ, who is a championship level fighter, and who has improved his game a lot. The way he knocked out Dustin Poirier, and he has been fighting amazing games in his recent games. And we have Max Holloway, former featherweight champ, and also regarded one of the best boxers in UFC. So we're having these 2 guys fight for the BMF title. So we have another fight at UFC 300. That is Weili Zhang versus her own country citizen. That is Yan Jinan. Yes, guys, these guys will be fighting for Women's Strawweight Championship. Weili Zhang, 80% finish rate. She has multiple records at Strawweight division. She's one hell of a fighter. She'll be fighting Yan Jinan. Yan Jinan, she finished Jessica Andrade under 3 minutes when she was 2-1 underdog. And she also has 8 first-round finishes. She ain't no joke. And these 2 guys are Chinese, and for the first time in history at the UFC, they're fighting for the title. And 2 Chinese women fighting each other for championship. Imagine all the media pressure. Imagine all the fans. Imagine all the Chinese fans going crazy. Imagine all of the MMA fans going crazy. This fight is gonna be epic as well. We also have former champ versus former champ fight at UFC 300. That is former flyweight champ Deviation Figueiredo, who has 87% finish rate, and who is planning to fight Cody Garbrandt, his former bantamweight champ. Deviation Figueiredo was at flyweight, now he's at bantamweight, and these guys will be fighting at UFC 300. And also, Dana White recently confirmed that Holly Holm, one of the UFC veteran at the women's division, he'll also be coming back at UFC 300. Okay, last but not least, UFC 300 has yet to announce another championship fight, right? Belal Muhammad versus Leon Edwards has not been confirmed yet. And also Tom Aspinall is waiting for the fight at heavyweight division. He has been calling out Stipe Miocic, the heavyweight GOAT. He has been calling out John Jones, the GOAT, and no one's responding. I mean, both John Jones and Stipe Miocic want to fight each other, and Tom Aspinall is waiting there. Tom Aspinall was asked, "Hey, are you ready to fight Stipe Miocic?" He said, "I'm ready." And you know what? Stipe Miocic said, "I'll fight John Jones." So I don't know what's future for heavyweight division right now. Are we gonna see some action at UFC 300? I don't know. Let's see. So moving forward. Alright, now let's talk about the fight night that happened before UFC 297. Okay, we shouldn't miss out this fight night, guys, because Johnny Walker and Magomed Ankalaev fought that game. Johnny Walker, so like pretty awesome dance moves while he's fighting, and when Magomed Ankalaev knocked him out. I mean, Johnny Walker, in my opinion, Johnny Walker shouldn't waste his talent. Johnny Walker is a big guy. He's a 6'5" guy at light heavyweight. I mean, he has some amazing striking, amazing unorthodox style, spinning back fist, hook kicks. But that man is wasting his talent. Anyways, I mean, Magomed Ankalaev won the game, and now Magomed Ankalaev is calling out Alex Pereira. He's saying to Alex Pereira's coach, former light heavyweight champ, former UFC fighter Glover Teixeira, you don't want to train your boy for the ground game. I will fight at the feet. Okay, so Magomed Ankalaev want to fight, the striking game with Alex Pereira, and Magomed Ankalaev told the same thing before. He told that I'll fight Johnny Walker at my feet, and he did it, and he fought on his feet. He won the game. But Han Blachowicz, the former light heavyweight champ, he also said, when I fight Alex Pereira, I don't go to the ground. But man, he broke his promise. At the first round, only Han Blachowicz went for a takedown against Alex Pereira. But Alex Pereira said in his recent social media that I'll be ready for Jamal Hill. I'm being ready for Jamal Hill right now, And Jamal Hill, he's a former light heavyweight champ. He never lost the belt, but he vacated the title because he was injured. And Jamal also said that I will fight Alex on my feet. Everyone is saying like that Alex cannot fight a ground game, so if his opponent fights a ground game, it will disadvantage for him. But everyone is like, no, I can fight Alex on my feet. So at light heavyweight, I think we'll see lots of striking action. So stay tuned for potential light heavyweight amazing fights. That's gonna happen in future. Quick news for all boxing fans out there. We have news regarding Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou, right? This fight is gonna happen on March 8th, and we also have Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. That fight is gonna happen at February 17th, right? And the news is that the winner from both of these fights are gonna face each other. So we have some intense fights coming at boxing as well. And Anthony Joshua, seeks to fight Fury, but he expects Usyk to win the fight between Usyk and Tyson Fury. And of course, Francis Ngannou is not out of MMA yet. He also said that, hey, I'll be back at MMA as soon as possible. So let's see. Are we gonna see Francis Ngannou soon? I mean, he said he'll be back at the big event. So what's the big event for MMA? We don't know. Let's see. So moving forward, now let's talk about cross promotion between two big MMA promotion company, that is Bellator and PFL. Yes, these both company are doing a cross promotional event, and this event's gonna happen at 24th Feb at Saudi Arabia. And one of the important fights is definitely between Thiago Santos and Yoel Romero. These both guys were fought at UFC before. Thiago Santos, lethal striker, only man who has defeated John Jones on official UFC scorecard. Yes, you got that right. And on his single leg. His leg was completely damaged by John Jones, but he managed to do so well that even today there's a real controversy that Thiago Santos was supposed to win that game, and he will fight Yoel Romero, once boogeyman of middleweight division of UFC. Yes, he has multiple achievements at wrestling. He's also an Olympic silver medalist. He's a knockout artist. He has fought for championship so many times. Yoel Romero is gonna fight Thiago Santos. Thiago Santos is he fights like a video games character. You have to watch these guys fight. This fight is gonna be amazing, okay? So let's move forward. And these guys will be fighting at Feb 24, where cross promotion between Bellator and PFL is happening at Saudi Arabia. So UFC 299 March 9, Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera. Sean O'Malley's only loss at UFC is against this man, Marlon Vera. And Sean O'Malley promised that this fight will not go to 5th round. He's gonna finish him in early rounds. It's gonna be a mental game. You know, even though he'll be ready for a whole 5 rounds, he's gonna finish Marlon Vera at earlier rounds. And we have some other good news as well. Okay, we have Gilbert Burns, 4th welterweight ranked fighter. Amazing jiu-jitsu, amazing striker, the man who stopped Hamza Chimaev's hype train. Yes, you got that right. And Gilbert Burns will be facing Australian fighter Zach Della Maddalena. And Zach Della Maddalena is an amazing fighter as well. He defeated Kevin Holland in his last game, and also he has lots of amazing, techniques and a lot of power. So we will be able to see Gilbert Burns versus Zach Della Maddalena, and don't miss out this fight because this fight is going to be epic as well. So another fight to talk about at UFC 299 is Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Pace. Michael Venom Pace just recently came to UFC as a free agent. Kevin Holland is a big guy with a lot of power, and he'll be fighting MVP Michael Venom Pace. Unorthodox fighting style, kung fu, karate, taekwondo. He mixes all those things and he fights. So it's gonna be exciting fight. And also, like, people have underestimated, MVP and Kevin Holland is also in declining phase. He has lost multiple fights recently, and people are underestimating Michael Venom Pace as well. They think Michael Venom Pace is like gatekeeper in the UFC, but let's see. I think these both guys are at that level where they can fight each other. So this fight is gonna be entertaining as well. Both big guys fighting at welterweight division. We also have another amazing fight. Mateusz Gamrot, 6th welterweight rank, who has more than 20 wins, who has defeated elite fighters at lightweight. He'll be facing Rafael dos Anjos, former lightweight champ, the man with the fastest knockout against Donald Cowboy Cerrone at lightweight division. Last but not least, we have Peter Yan versus Song Yadong. Peter Yan also is from Chinese descent, and Song Yadong is Chinese. Peter Yan, former bantamweight champion. Look at his fight against Aljamain Sterling, the first fight. He was like throwing around Aljamain Sterling, and he was striking was so crisp. This man is so awesome in his fight, but he got unlucky with those illegal strikes, and he lost his belt. And from that loss, he has been declining. He has lost several of his fights. Sean O'Malley was supposed to lose with him. There's controversy still going around that Sean O'Malley was favored by UFC, but if you look at that fight closely, you'll see Peter Yan dominated that fight. Peter Yan should have won that fight. Yes, and Peter Yan will be fighting Song Yadong. Song Yadong, the man who defeated Marlon Vera. Yes, you got it right. Marlon Vera, who is fighting for bantamweight title at UFC 299 main event. So final thing we're gonna talk about is UFC 298, and this card is near. It's at February 18, and we have Alexander Volkanovski versus Ilya Topuria, who's gonna fight for featherweight championship. So stay tuned, guys, and we'll talk about this card in detail in our another episode. So that's it. Thank you for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time in our episode number 4, and we'll be definitely back with some amazing more good news.